A number 69. Wow. 69 total Dog Talk Lives. That's a lot. Since I started numbering them, there's probably more. We're probably up around 75, but I started numbering them once I made the commitment that we were going to do this. Um, Speaking of commitments, we've got our co-host here. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, she wants her butt scratched. My co-host is wanting a scratched butt. Ace out. Ace decided he wanted to be the co-host today, but we're kicking him out. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope you guys got your dogs out, and had a wonderful time, and a happy Father's Day. We had a nice day. Let's see. All right, here is my co-host. My lovely co-host Memphis, who loves to chew on my nose and ears and lick my face, is here to do Dog Talk Live. When you guys check in, please let us know where you're from. Let us know what questions you have. Rich, Memphis says hi. Let us know what questions you guys have, and how we can help you today. Puppies, dogs, hunting, training, and more. Let's talk about my favorite topic, which is dogs. So yes, Memphis is now laying here like a baby and enjoying life. We just got done working with the kennel dogs. Thump. Now I got dog toys being given to me and everything. Got done working with the kennel dogs. What did we work on today? Today we got birds out for the first time, and I did something a little different on force fetch. Everyone always in past had preached using a wooden dowel. I actually had something similar, so I tried using that in force fetch. I tried it actually a week into force fetch, and I've used that more, and I will tell you that I saw a difference. There's a difference when you're not using bumpers for the first part of force fetch. I had the dogs out, threw birds for them. They picked up birds, then threw bumpers for them, and I'd say all but two picked up the bumpers for me as well, where when you're doing force fetch, a lot of times they'll get pretty sour to bumpers, and today it didn't happen. So I'm a huge fan of using a wooden dowel from now forward training dogs when you're doing force fetch or trained retrieve. I guess you can teach an old dog like myself a new trick. So we got Rich from Nebraska, we got Pennsylvania, Jeff checking in, Jackie from California, we got Mark from New Jersey. So we worked on birds. The dogs did great. Again, I feel like we're ahead. When you train dogs and you train a group of dogs, you always have times when you feel you're behind and you feel like, oh my gosh, my clients are going to kill me. And then you have the point where you think, wow, the dogs are doing great and I'm a wonderful trainer. It's kind of, you kind of go through these stages with each group of dogs, but I feel like we're ahead with this group. So it's nice because it's always good to feel like you're ahead as opposed to feeling like you're behind. But no, the dogs are doing wonderful. We did a shorter training session today because I had to roll through them all, and we were supposed to get a bunch of rain. To date, we have not gotten that. So we hopefully we'll not get a ton of rain, albeit a lot of our cornfields around here are looking pretty sad. So we could use a little bit of rain. But my property is also drying up pretty quick, so Soggy Acres is not quite as soggy with standing water everywhere, which would be really nice and a real change for this that we haven't had in about 3 years. We've been flooded for like 3 years, where the majority of the property, the ducks love it, but not very usable by deer, turkeys, humans, or anything else. So we will see where it ends up. Mark is checking in from Oregon. He's got 90s today. That's pretty hot. Today I would say we're going to probably hit about 75. Again, we're looking in the next 2 weeks. I think it's going to be probably, it looks like about an 85-degree average for a high, which for Wisconsin is hot. Usually, I mean, it's not hot per se, but it's hot in the way that, my gosh, the last couple of summers we barely cracked 80 degrees and rarely hit 90 degrees. So it's pretty crazy. Rich, is it beneficial to do water work when doing upland game on a Labrador? Rich, I like to do water work as well as upland dog because you never know when a bird's going to drop either in water or on the other side of water. It's also great to work with them on holding something when you're going through your trained retrieve. Dogs will have a tendency to spit stuff out and then shake. You don't want them to do that. That's not optimal. You definitely do want them to pick it back up if they do, so it gives you something to work on training with your hold command and then a fetch command if they drop it. And also, you can make your training longer if you're doing water training, where you can teach more because you have the dogs in a position where they pull them off. So what I will do, I'll do my land work, which will be land retrieves as well as upland, and then I will take that and I will go to the water and cool the dogs off and work on that. Oh, sorry about that. Rich from New York, do you train other breeds of dogs? Rich, I do obedience training on any breed of dog unless it's I don't work with protection breeds. But I've done obedience on a huge array of breeds. As far as hunting training, I only work with. I'm trying to pull up an answer here. I only work with retrievers on our hunting training. Let's see, Brian from South Carolina on YouTube. Do you allow dogs to travel in the back of a UTV, or do you keep them in a box? Brian, we have at our property, me personally, for Argos, we have Argos on our hunting property. It's like a tub, so it's got a big back. I do not have a crate in there. We actually always have people back there. Get down. We always have people back there, so you're going to have the point where the dogs aren't going to jump out because someone's petting them or holding on to them. If I were training where I was using a side-by-side, I would either have dogs sitting on the seat up next to me, or I would have a crate in the back of the side-by-side, or I would actually have my dog trailer and pull that behind. Let's see. Jessica, do you start your pups on birds in to retrieve? Jessica, no, I don't, because I'm putting dogs in water while I'm still working on force fetch, and I don't work with dogs on birds when they're not completely under control, and if they're in the water, it's going to be harder to control them. Do I use birds toward the end of training in water? Yes, yeah, we do. But when I'm doing my earlier training and going through and getting all my control work done, mouth control, I'll work with birds where I know it's completely under control. It's funny because each dog I had today had the same, where they tried to run away from me because they had the bird and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the greatest thing in the world." And I didn't anticipate that, or I would have had a line on them. But we've been through collar conditioning, so I just nicked them with the collar and said, "Here." And I kind of wondered if they would drop the birds, and they were so excited about having the birds that none of them dropped the birds. So it worked out well, and it turned into more of an obedience thing, if anything. Let's see. Tim from Grand Rapids. Jim Burger should be working. Yes. Get him to work. Let's see. So again, if you guys are just watching for the first time, let us know where you're from. Please let us know what questions you have. I will come back and check our Facebook page later. So if you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and ask your question on YouTube. If you're watching YouTube Live, I believe if you just put it in as a comment on the video after, I will always come back and check it for you. We try to answer things within the same day. We try to do these anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week. So it is something that it'll be great to have you on, and great to have you part of the conversation. Steven's checking in from South Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Good to see you on here. All right, let's see. Robin Bay, who's your mentor? Did you do an apprenticeship? Robin, I did not. I've worked with, I don't really have a mentor per se. I worked with quite a few different trainers. I was blessed with having a property where it was something trainers wanted to train on, and I would basically tell guys, hey, if you want to train here, that's fine. Just you got to run me through some stuff and teach me some stuff. So I probably had, I'd say, 4 different trainers that really had an impact in how I do things. I also started with my first dog with the book Retriever Trainer by by the Dobbs family. That was a Tritronics book, and then I ended up getting the Mike Lardy DVDs, Total Retriever, I believe they're called, and then his Total Retriever marking, and learned with those. Once you have a base of how to train dogs, from there it's honestly just working with them, because no matter what you've been taught, you always run into something where you shake your head and go, wow, I haven't seen that before. Again, I just started using a wooden dowel for force fetch on this current group I have in. I honestly really like the results of it. I've had dogs that are very, very bumper sour, where it takes a few weeks to get them to have fun so that you can get them to do work. So this is nice because I really feel like we're going to be ahead in what we can teach and what we can do. California checking in. Good to see you, California. We got Michigan. We got, let's see. So yeah, as you guys are checking in, please let us know where you're from. Let us know what questions you have. As far as breeding, a few people that helped me out in the dog breeding world for having litters. And then it's always good to have a good vet that can really give you some good solid answers. With dog breeding, I don't know why it seems like many people in the dog breeding world think that the way that you market yourself is to talk poorly about someone else. So there's not a lot of people that work together collaboratively in the breeding world. There should be, because there's a lot of things that we can all learn from each other, but it just doesn't happen. So it is something where you're working kind of with your vet, you're kind of working with a few people that you've talked to, and then with the internet, at least you can find a lot of good targets, or a lot of good articles that you can target that can really work with you. Let's see, Don, how are the young pups doing? Doing good. I need to get a video up. We've got our Lucy Joe litter, which is chocolate. They go home this week. And then our Denali litter, which is fox red, they go home mid-July. So I need to get a video up. I got to go back out today and get that. We're running everyone through their first set of worming protocol and their last set of worming protocol between the two litters. So you always treat them for parasites to make sure that they're good and healthy. Scott from Sun Prairie, where did you get your first lab from? I got a female out of Candlewood. I saw you had a pedigree up. Scott, my first puppy I got was from Candlewood Kennels. It was a gift from my first wife's parents to us. How often do you interact with other trainers? Robin, I have one friend, A.G. Shaw, that I talk to probably a couple times a week. But as far as other training, I do not train in a group. I only train by myself. I'm dealing with all gun dogs, all young dogs, and it's, again, I've been blessed with a property where I can teach upland waterfowl, I can teach flooded timber, I can teach open water, I can teach heavier cover with cattails, so it's really a great thing for me. How often do you recommend training monthly after getting a dog to keep them conditioned? Someone from YouTube asked. Sorry, I didn't catch your name on it. If you're going to get your dog out for conditioning, it's no different than a person. If you can condition a dog at least 3 times a week, that would be great. And the offshoot and positivity of that is that you can get yourself conditioned 3 times a week and get yourself in shape. It is always, if you have a dog that'll quarter back and forth and run around, you're going to get them a lot more exercise, letting them range like that if you can. If you have to walk with them at heel on a leash, again, you're going to have to put in 3-4 miles. If you have where the dog is running back and forth quartering like they're upland hunting, they're probably running 3 times the distance for every mile you walk, so you don't have to put as many miles in. All right, guys, you got great questions. Must have been a good weekend. I hope everyone had a great Father's Day weekend. My boys gave me some great gifts. We had a really nice time. What did we have? We had marinated deer tenderloin and rice and a vegetable. So it was a good meal. Grilled it. It was something that was wonderful. Scarlett is here. She's got a toy she wants me to play with right now, and probably gonna pull me off the chair. The rest of this week, I'm really hoping that I can get toward the conclusion of force fetch, albeit we're only going to be this is starting the 4th week. So I'm going to try to get the dogs to the point where they'll pick up off the ground, and so that we can walk walk at heel on a leash. So that will be what we're going to do to try to get accomplished this week with the dogs. Jackie, do you prefer running piles or swimming a dog that has gotten out of shape? Jackie, I actually prefer to just go out and go for a good solid hike with them. If you don't have that, I like swimming. You could do pile work next to a body of water and then swim them. Swimming to me is nice because you're not going to have the dogs overheat as much. Usually when we're getting our dogs in shape, it is summer. Again, I will take them out and I will go for walks myself with them if I've got an older dog. Rommel's 14 and a half. He just likes to kind of wobble around the property. We take him out and we actually exercise him by having our Chihuahua in a stroller and walk the Chihuahua around the yard while Rommel runs around the yard. So there, now you know I've lost my man card in my life because we have a Chihuahua. Don, how do I feel about raw dog food? Dan, I'm sorry. Dan, I do not feed raw, and I will not board dogs that do raw. I have a huge fear on doing raw of salmonella and different things that you could get with it, especially in a kennel atmosphere or even in a house if you get some stuff on the floor. That really kind of scares me. I think there's a lot of great foods that you can buy that are kibble. As far as why we don't do it for dog boarding, again, we don't have a fridge out there. You'd be dealing with all sorts of things, and the last thing I would want is for a dog to get sick. At the same time, I know it's very popular, and a lot of people are doing it. So hey, if it works for you, that is great. Let's see. Hold on, we got a YouTube question if I can get it up here. Do you recommend using a different dummy for different training scents? How often do you recommend training monthly? Stephen, I would thoroughly clean a bumper. You don't have to use a different one, but thoroughly clean it with a scent-free soap, and then you can apply your different training scents to that bumper at different times. You're going to want a good solid upland scent, and you want a waterfall scent. I mean, those are the two that you really would need. As far as upland, I wouldn't worry too much about getting into different styles. Upland birds smell like upland birds, generally, from what I can tell in training, and waterfall smells like waterfall. The worst bird I can tell you as far as what dogs do not like to retrieve is a woodcock. They hate them. They just must taste awful. So, Robin, what percentage of dogs come overweight? That is a great question. Robin, probably I'm running about 30% that are overweight. This last group, I had one out of 12 dogs, so that was good. But I try to tell people ahead of time now, and a lot of the dogs I get in for training are my own puppies, and I'm pretty harsh on people where I try to explain to them, if a dog is 5 or 10 pounds overweight, you can't look at it as weight. You got to look at it as percentage. So Memphis, who I always have up on my lap during these videos, she at times will be 5 pounds overweight, and it's not 5 pounds; it's 10%. So I try to really impress that upon people that if dogs are 20, 30, 40% overweight, as a person, if you did that, that would be 50 to 100 pounds on us. And how would we look if we were running around? So it is something that you want to make sure that you are getting them in shape before you do your training. But yeah, that's a great question. I would say overall in our society, probably 50% of dogs that I see are overweight. Every time I do sport shows, I have people that come up and say that I have a small dog, but their dog, big dog, I have a really big dog, big, muscular. And all I can think of is a quarter barrel with paws. There are some dogs that are big, but in general, most people think that their dogs are big because they're wide, and it wouldn't be any different than myself saying that I'm big because I'm wide. Not as wide though. I'm losing weight. Got a diet going on, but yeah. So that's a great question, Jackie. Foxtails make it tough to hike. Yeah, Jackie. Foxtail grass at my other place, and I've got to spray one of my food plots where the foxtail's growing up in and try to kill it. There's not a lot by us, but for people that don't know, foxtail is a very, very bad. It's a very bad seed. It actually the dogs can breathe it in, and then it'll actually migrate through their lungs, bodies, and create infections, and they can die from it. So foxtail grass is something you do not want to have your dogs around. Wow, you guys have had me talking. We're doing good. Again, if you're watching this after the fact, please just go ahead and put a question up and in the comments, and I'll come back and check and answer it for you. Again, I'm going to try to do at least 3 or 4 days this week. Try to hit as many as I can, and I usually don't give any notice. I know I should, but my life is a little crazy, so it's usually, oh, I should do a Dog Talk Live right now, and then I click it on. But maybe at some point this fall, once I don't have dogs in, we'll do set times on it. Yeah, it's always great, everybody. We've got good questions today, and I really do appreciate it. So we're going to give a last call for questions. Last call. I'm going to put my email address up here, sportingdogtv@gmail.com. Sportingdogtv@gmail.com is my email. If you have questions you don't want to ask in a public forum, you can always ask them there, and I'll try to help you with them. If you've got a question that you want me to ask during one of our Dog Talk Lives, or to answer, go ahead and email it over, and we'll absolutely throw it up there. So, what do you think, Scarlett? Scarlett wants to say hi. Come here. Come here. And she just wants to bite me. You can see her tail. They were just hammering around. Everyone's got a toy in their mouth right now, and I've got 3 labs sprinting around behind me. It is just crazy. So, well, hey, so that's going to be about it. We're going to call it today. Scarlett, say bye, Scarlett. Say goodbye. Scarlett says goodbye. I do appreciate your guys' time. God bless you. Have a great day. Stop back and check us out next on Dog Talk Live number 70. The only reason we have that many is because we have great fans that are watching them and bringing us great questions. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Now, let's see. We're going to give you that answer, Rashawn. You're going to want to train with your dog somewhere in the neighborhood of about between 10 and 20 minutes on your training sessions. That will keep it so that the dogs are very much on point and interested. So, again, that is the end of Dog Talk Live. We had to answer that one question. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care.